Sweet sounds of the Bouncing Souls starting us off here. Pilot episode of the Captain and Madden show. Right in your ears. Everybody, welcome. Welcome into a new podcast experience. We're going to get that. We're going to bring the captain back up here. My name is Mike Madden. We're starting a new podcast venture. And let me bring the captain on here. Captain. Oh, Captain, my captain.
Hello, Mike Madden. What's happened?
Oh, there he is. The captain, Michael Corby. So if you're new to this, if you're kind of finding this podcast, out of nowhere, or you've been directed here, maybe from the Count Me Down podcast, you will know that we sort of put the Count Me Down podcast on hiatus for a little while, and we've rebranded here as the Captain and Madden show. But it's going to be a very similar vibe. We're going to be talking about specific topics, and we're going to spend the episode just sort of like digging from the inside out, almost like crawling out of a crevice of that particular topic. And what better partner do I have than the captain to help me along and get deep in the trenches, so to speak, of these topics. Some of them are going to be random. Some of them are going to be well planned in advance. Depending on how we feel and what we really want to chat about. So, how do you feel about that, Cap?
Any chance that I get to talk about things that really don't matter in this world that are makes me happy, because and there's nobody else I'd rather talk about useless knowledge and useless things than my good friend Mike Madden.
It's true. I kind of carry a lot of the useless knowledge gene along with me. Very interesting topics floating around in my head, in your head as well. So don't think that you're coming in here like the genius of this whole thing, like you're such a cultured
you're pen and on color, except that I talk.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of that's a weird way to look at it, but you actually so this was the topic that we're going to be tackling this particular episode. This was your brainstorm. Why don't you let us know what you were thinking when you decided to pick the topic at hand this week?
Obviously, when you're trying to think of a topic, you want something that's topical, something that will, as much will cause a little bit of debate. The last thing we want to get on is me and you both agreeing, but everybody in the audience also agreeing. But since we're recording this prior to the Super Bowl, Super Bowl would be this upcoming Sunday.
Oh, yes.
I thought maybe you and I will discuss and take a crack at Super Bowl halftime shows.
Yeah.
Always something that kind of stirs a little bit, like even if you're ever at a Super Bowl party or leading up to the game itself. There's a lot of people who are sometimes excited for the Super Bowl halftime show. Then there's people who are angry about this who's performing. And then there's a person like me who still does not know who the hell Kendrick Lamar is. Okay. Wow. I can't name one of his songs. And the dude was on Grammys the other night, and I'm just like, still don't know it.
Yeah, he won Song of the Year at the Grammys this past week.
Not according to me, it was not Song of the Year, because I still don't know it.
You don't know it, but I just wanted to point out this is the upcoming Super Bowl, which is this Sunday. Is the Roman numerals are LIX, so it's Super Bowl licks. How about that? They should have had Kiss.
They should have.
And a nice performance of Lick It Up.
Wants a Super Bowl halftime party.
They probably already have enough pyro for Kiss. It's fine. They're still alive. So. Yeah, I mean the Super Bowl halftime show. You're right. It ends up being this sort of like, it's a standing debate. The second that they announce like who the Super Bowl performer is going to be, somebody out there, those people. Everybody's got those people like,
dude, why don't they have Slayer do halftime?
Just chirping in your ear like, oh, they should, you name it, whatever their favorite kind of music is, or if they're like, oh, let's just make it easy and like just make it the Foo Fighters every year.
Right.
And we'll get to that. We'll definitely cover the topics of, who might be in line to do it, or who we think might be the ultimate people to do it. But we've got a lot of years to cover. We have a lot of history and a lot of zigzags to cover with this. Super Bowl started 67.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So we've got a lot of
Which I guess would have been the 66 season, because the Super Bowl is always.
I hate that. That's that's the other thing that just does my head in, where it's like, all right, well, it's for the season in the calendar year before then. So
it's always like, oh, everyone's like, oh, Super Bowl III, 1969. It's like, yeah, but that was the 68 season.
68. Yeah, exactly. And then and did you say to yourself, I look at the Roman numeral LIX, like, what Super Bowl are we in now? Is it Super Bowl like 56?
I thought it was 60. Is it 60 yet?
No, because that would be X. That would be XX. See, this is Roman numerals do my head in. Maybe we're past 60. No, if it started in 67, let's just do simple math. If it started in 67, and that was Super Bowl I, and this is 2025, so then we're almost 60. 58. We 58?
We 59. LIX.
59.
So, yeah, Super Bowl 59, I guess.
Okay. All right. So that makes me feel a little bit better about.
By the way, I want it noted. Mm-hmm. When I agreed to do this podcast, I was told there was going to be no math.
Yeah, I think that will probably be a line that will be said in every episode of this podcast. I was told there's no math because I'm sure at some point it's good. Like, we're going to have these type of dumb debates. We're going to be like, all right, well, subtract something from this so that we could come up with a number, and it was on the charts for this long. Yeah, stupid stuff.
The answer is 4?
Yeah, right. It's empty thoughts. But again, at the research that I did for Super Bowl halftime shows, and I'm sure you saw the same thing, wasn't really glitzy.
No, not at all. A lot of marching bands. Mm-hmm. I think it's like University of Arizona marching band, and then Florida marching band. Mm-hmm. I think it was like whatever college was closest to the stadium that they were holding the Super Bowl at. I think they
got the call. Yeah.
The first one that I kind of like, which kind of makes sense, was like 76. They had this like a tribute to America, because that was the bicentennial.
Oh yeah, I have this note too. Yes.
And that kind of began like that, a tribute to or whatever. Like, they had like a theme every year, and some of them are just
That one from 76.
I'm almost glad I wasn't alive or that I was very young, that I don't remember a lot of them, because they sound pretty horrible.
So 76 was the bicentennial.
Right.
Everybody's favorite bicentennial. Bicentennial was a big deal. Holy shit, was a big deal.
But by the way, it was called 200 Years and Just a Baby.
And Just a Baby. What a terrible like theme for your. You know what I mean? Like, creep. And yeah, Just a Baby. The stars of that particular one. And now I've got a lot of notes about this group. Up With People.
Yeah.
They were making their Super Bowl debut. So also in the midst of doing the research for the show, because I go the extra mile, I did watch Up With People ended up doing something with the Super Bowl 4 or 5 times.
Yes.
And I did watch the performances. The first one's actually kind of cool, like because you're thinking to yourself, all right, well, you've had marching bands and drill teams like, and then like jazz musicians and stuff like that, like kind of thrown together. And, again, it's very, if you would think of it of the time, it's very much like, oh, well, that's what we expect at a halftime if we're going to a game. We're not going to have pyro and stages and musical performances. So then when Up With People comes through, which if any of our listeners remember Up With People or are curious about it, it was an international organization of young people, and I'm throwing that in air quotes, young people who just all sang songs about positivity and having a great time. So this was, it's the type of thing where you're like, I just get the ball peen hammer for me, please, and just start knocking me out. But because this was America's 200th birthday, just a baby, they had a lot of like medleys with like patriotic songs and
I'm
history.
sure Yankee Doodle Dandy was probably sang at some point.
I don't see. I'm looking at the list right now. No Yankee Doodle Dandy, but Rock Around the Clock. From the first season of Happy Days. Take Me Home, Country Roads. Philadelphia Freedom, contemporary song at the time, was thrown in there for good measure as well. But they they would do these so they would have I guess in those days it was 200 or 250 people. They would run on the field, right? And they would do their formations. So they would come from the sidelines and they'd kind of swarm in. Which visually, if you're looking at it, nowadays, and we'll get into the modern performances, but the modern performances are very staged and over the top. This is so they have a shot of the overhead shot of the stadium, looking down, and you see the people the Up With People, not just the people, the Up With People,
Yes.
kind of storming the field almost. And then getting into their formation. So that's why I'm all right, well, this is actually kind of interesting and cool. Believe me, it's going to get a whole lot worse with Up With People, because they do come back, I think in the early 80s. They reared their increasing numbers. So
Yes.
Up With People came back in, what was it, 1980. They were part of a medley about the big band era.
Oh yeah,
Which
before their time, because there was that era, when ska and swing music. I mean, you may trash them all you want, but Up With People may have been 20 years. If that's 20 years later, they're hip.
Well, all right. This is you say that, and that's sort of the point that I'm getting at is nothing says football like the big band era. It's really synonymous.
Yes.
When I
Are you ready for some football?
yeah, exactly. Jukebox Saturday night. If that's what you're looking for to pump you up before a football game, don't sit still in your seat because they're going to throw dirt on you.
Yep.
But yeah, Up With People. They did that one. I believe they were back 2 years later when we were celebrating the 60s.
Yes. Yes.
And this is where Upper People starts to go downhill. Because if you do, and that was one of the performances that I watched today. There are some people of diverse backgrounds in the near 600. At this point, the cast of Up With People had swelled to nearly 600 people. And there are some people of color, but there's also everybody that was singing the Motown parts were as white as the driven snow. It was a little bit okay, I get what we're doing here. We're still positive.
So if anybody has ever been on a cruise, imagine the entertainment that they supply on a cruise, which is god awful, hokey.
Yeah.
We're not going to get anywhere near close to possibly offending anybody. Imagine that on a football field for basically 12 to 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what this Up With People was kind of like.
And I think it was for this particular one. They were in Detroit. It was at the Silverdome.
Well, that would make sense for
Yeah.
Motown.
And really, I think the 82 Super Bowl might have been the first one that I was like watching as a kid. Right?
I think mine might have been. I kind of remember. I think the '84. If that was, it was Dolphins 49ers. They made a big deal out of Marino,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Montana. But
That was
the first one that I can vividly remember and having like a rooting interest and stuff was the '85 Bears.
okay. All right. That makes sense. They were phenomenal. But yeah, the whatever this 82. So it was the 49ers, Joe Montana 49ers versus Ken Anderson and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, that's a little bit before me.
A little bit before, but still, like,
I know who Joe Montana is.
Right? Anthony Munoz was playing for the Bengals. I think that was his first or second year in the season in the league, I should say. But so like I don't remember like sitting there and like watching up with people sing about Motown, but it totally makes sense because again, it was sort of like these stage performances in that I guess that all the way through the 80s. Whether it was, a marching band or it was just based on a theme. Disney took over a lot too. So there would be like a Disney.
There was I think there's like a tribute to 100 years of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to I think there was a tribute to Disney. I don't know if there was an anniversary attached to it, but it's like a Small World thing. And then there was another but that's pretty much, that's the way it was for a while. It was just like I said, hokey, kind of all American. Everybody smile,
yeah. Like a variety
smile
show.
at the camera. Yeah.
It's like a short variety show or something akin to like you would see at the opening of the Oscars, right? Where it would be like, here's a magical musical look into the films of today.
Except I don't think the Super Bowl ever had Minnie Mouse and Rob Lowe doing a duet together, like the Oscar one of the '80s Oscars.
Wasn't that the year that he made the sex tape?
Hopefully not with Minnie Mouse.
No, he didn't. No.
That could be kind of hot. I don't know.
Okay, all right. Anybody that's listening at home who hasn't turned this off already, but no, Rob Lowe.
Yeah, I think that was pre-sex. I don't think Disney would have ever associated with themselves with somebody with a sex tape. So.
Oh, well.
Not till later.
Yeah, exactly. Squeaky clean. But then you get that shift in. Also before we talk about the shift, one of the first halftime show that I remember was Super Bowl. I think it was the '89. They were trying to do like this big elaborate card trick, and they were hyping this thing up like through the whole pregame and even in the anticipation for the Super Bowl. Like this was the thing that you were supposed to pay attention because they were going to do like the biggest card trick in in U.S. history or whatever, like this big group thing.
Right.
The magician, his name was Elvis Presto.
Oh God, why do I remember this?
Because he kind of had an Elvis gimmick. Yeah. Tremendous. By the way, great pun for a name.
Yeah, it is.
Elvis at that point, there was no other Elvis-based magicians out there, and Elvis Presto being the Super Bowl halftime. One of the, they had performers, and this might have been the year that the New Kids on the Block did it, or it was the year before they did that. But Elvis Presto, the magician / Elvis impersonator, was part of that one.
So you weren't taken back with the 1988 Super Bowl, the something grand, featuring 88 grand pianos, the Rockettes, and Chubby Checker. Something grand. That sounds like it was like produced by John Sterling.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I didn't catch any footage of that. That does sound that again. That's ambitious to like bring that many pianis out onto a football field during which is literally should only be like a 20-minute like between halves time frame. I would applaud if somebody were to say like we're going to put out 200 pianos in today's time frame. You could probably make it happen, but then I think they were trying to stick to that short window of 15-20 minutes. So but Chubby Checker, was he singing the twist, the football twist?
I would imagine he would have, like, what else are you going to have Chubby Checker do?
We're going to do the twist because the kicker's got no shoes on.
My thing, I was always wondering, like, because I didn't actually get to watch it, but like, were the Rockettes doing the twist or were they just kicking?
We're just kicking, yeah. They're going against the twist at that point. Or they twist, maybe they were twist kicking.
Oof.
Points for dexterity.
Like they're in Cobra Kai.
Chubby Checker's just singing songs about having karate fights in malls.
The show ended when one of them actually just roundhouse kicked.
Yeah.
Or Chubby Checker right off the stage.
Chubby Checker dropped, and then all 200 pianos just slammed the lid on the keys.
Hey, there was 88 grand pianos.
88 grand pianos. Okay. All right. Well, it's less. I want 200. I want 200 pianos. 200. So yeah, then we get through like a bunch of Disney stuff. Then that one with New Kids on the Block, and then a bunch of other people like Gloria Estefan, I think was.
That was actually the following year. So yeah, it was like Small World of 25. Small World salute to 25 years of the Super Bowl, featuring New Kids. Gloria Estefan was 92 the next year with two of your favorite people of all time. It was called Winter Magic because I guess NBC had it because it was a salute to the Winter Olympics.
Yes, yeah.
With Gloria Estefan, Brian Boitano,
Double B, Brian Boitano, yeah,
and Dorothy Hamill.
Dot Hamill. Look at that haircut.
Yeah. So it's like we're kind of getting better with the names, but we still have to have a theme, kind of thing. Like so.
So this is an interesting one, 92, because that goes into my next point. This is where other networks got aggressive with their counter programming. So in 92, the fledgling Fox channel that had been on the air for 4 years, maybe 5 years by that point, they ran a live episode of In Living Color. Which was huge.
Which is probably why I don't remember that halftime show because I probably switched over and watched In Living Color.
Living Color, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Including a skit. They did a Men on Football. Men on Film was the the major skit, the recurring skit that they did. But they did a Men on Football. But that was
hated it.
They had like apparently they had somewhere in the neighborhood of like 5 million people like switch over and watch, and they had like a countdown clock to whenever the second half of the game was going to start. So they were very strategic, and that drove the NFL and its sponsors crazy. They were like, "All right, we're totally off the mark with this. We can't be losing people in the middle of the game to watch another show and risk them not coming back. So what are we going to do?"
Plus, not only was, that was one of the ones that I very much remember was in Living Color. But the other side of it was the 80s Super Bowls, and even into the early 90s, were blowouts.
Yeah.
A lot of them were blowouts. So if you gave, there was probably a lot of people that switched over and probably never really went back to the game unless they had, money or something involved in it. Like there were a lot of those, the years the Broncos made it, a lot of those games got blown out.
Yeah.
I kind of remember 49ers in San Diego, that was a blowout. Like a lot of them were just, I mean, the second half, like I
Yeah.
said, unless you were gambling or something, there was really nothing to keep you watching the games.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. So then we get to 1993. And a certain gloved one technically is he's the originator of the elaborate Super Bowl, first real prominent Super Bowl halftime performer, Michael Jackson.
It was called Heal the World.
It was called Heal the World, yes.
Which here's the horrible, like, when I looked it up, it was called Heal the World, featuring Michael Jackson and 3,500 local children.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, that didn't age well.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's different. It was a different world that needed to be healed, I guess, that year. And he's riding high. He still has
Black and White.
Black and White was the year before. And he was touring the world, and he was.
Plus, I mean, there's the videos for that album, which the name's escaping me right now. I mean, like the second single on that. I mean, the video had Eddie Murphy, Iman, like Magic Johnson.
Remember the Time. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, he was still probably a big thing in '93. I mean, that was a big thing for him to be doing the halftime show in '93.
Yeah, he was a big get. I saw something in the notes that the NFL doesn't hire the guest performer. It's all negotiated by the sponsor. Nowadays, it's negotiated by the sponsors and the network.
Right.
So they're actually the ones. The NFL has to provide them, their band, their entourage, their.
Right. They pay for the production and the people that are involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
The artist themselves does not receive a paycheck.
But old MJ, old Dancing Feet himself, had said, "Hey, I'll do this, but some proceeds from ticket sales or from whatever the NFL is going to make on this, I want that kicked into my Heal the World foundation." Which, hey, if you're gonna kind of tie yourself to the Super Bowl halftime, and you're gonna expect a big a big audience to watch it, which I'm sure, I don't have the exact numbers, but I'm sure a lot of people tuned in. It became, that was the first and only time that they actually did that. They negotiated with Jackson, and he got the bag, so to speak, for his charity.
I think they ran a commercial at some point, whether it was following his performance or it was sometime, they basically gave him a commercial for his Heal the World.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They ran some sort of, promotional thing or something. So he got free commercial out of it too, which I don't know what they were charging back then in '93, but I'm sure it was a lot of money.
I give him a lot of credit for sort of hey, we're gonna do this on my terms, and I want to be able to, kick back to the charity. I want, if it's prominent, show me a little bit of attention there. But that started it off. They did the next year was country music people, and I looked at the lineup, and I don't remember Travis Tritt's playing a halftime show with the Judds.
Yeah, Clint Black was apparently involved in it.
Yeah, yeah. Could you get more boring? Could you get let's list the most boring people in country music, and just have them the Judds? The Judds had 2 songs in this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what was really trying to think back to that time. What was really big in country? I don't know if Garth
Brooks.
Around.
Yeah, Garth Brooks was around. Get him. Also, country music wasn't that big in mid '90s. Country music was regional. Might have broken out a little bit, but it was regional. Hey, you know what you could have done? Let's get a rock act on here and and do something cool. But no, it was country music.
And it wasn't Kenny Rogers.
Well, no, I mean, again, nothing says football
Look,
like.
come on, a gambler like with Dolly Parton at halftime. I'm all in. I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah,
But going back to like the living color thing,
yeah.
what do you in my mind? I should have looked it up, but what year didn't like one of the years MTV run like a 15-minute like episode of Beavis and Butthead during the
So
year?
So MTV did a lot of stuff. MTV had done like they did a Beavis and Butthead. I guess they were doing like a marathon of Beavis and Butthead, but then they had like a special Beavis and Butthead segment that they played during halftime. They did like one year, I think it was like the debut episode of the Celebrity Deathmatch, that claymation show. And then in 90, I want to say it was 99. They had a partnership with the WWF at the time, and MTV was airing Sunday Night Heat, was their Sunday night like 7 o'clock show. So they actually had a match. It was an empty arena match between The Rock and Mankind for the world title, which was all shot ahead of time, and it's an empty arena, so they don't have to like bring in a bunch of fans and have them sit there. So it was kind of a goofy match, but it did feature a title change, and Mankind did pin The Rock to win the world title by putting a forklift, I believe, that might have had some kegs of beer on him to pin him. Not a lot of rules in this one, but yeah, they did that, and also currently, when you're talking about counter programming to the Super Bowl, they have the Puppy Bowl every year on the Animal Planet channel. So that Puppy Bowl's been going on for like 15, 20 years at this point.
I also believe somebody, I don't know if it's Animal Planet or somebody also does the Kitten Bowl.
Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, they're the same.
Yeah.
Network and parent company that's really what they do all day, is that they have puppy bowls and kitten bowls and fish bowls and stuff like that. So that's all, that is something, and they get big sponsorships, and they have celebrities that are part of that one too. So
they have like a lion bowl or a tiger bowl. Like you get a bunch of tigers in there, like fighting.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, I'm watching that.
I want that. Yeah. Right.
Kittens?
Barracuda bowl. Pay-per-view also was pretty prominent during the 2000s. The Lingerie Football League started on pay-per-view on Super Bowl Sunday, and they would have their, I guess, like main parts of their game would be played at halftime. So for any of you pervs who love lingerie football, this was the impetus of that. I think Howard Stern had something called the Stupid Bowl that was on pay-per-view as well. So that's, counter programming. Yeah. It kind of exists, and I think nowadays, like, you have stuff like YouTube will have like, some of their heavy hitters, I guess, that'll do like go live at halftime and try to take eyeballs off of the, or catch people like saying like, oh, I'm not interested in the halftime show. That's not my type of music. And then you're, flipping around or surfing the web or checking for something on streaming, and, maybe something catches your eye that way. So
not to get into it, like for real football fans, unless your team makes it to the Super Bowl, mm-hmm. There's a lot of reasons why the Super Bowl kind of like is not the championship weekend for like hardcore football fans. That's kind of like the end of it. The Super Bowl is all about, the people with the boxes, mm-hmm. and everyone talking during the game and not paying attention, but everybody kind of shuts up and quiets up when they go to commercials. because everybody wants to watch the commercials
That's
and everybody wants to know about the halftime show. And that's the thing, that the halftime show is turned into a, we want to make sure that we have as many eyeballs on this game from the opening kickoff to the end, to the last, to the last play,
yeah.
that they don't want people tuning away. So that, I mean, that's why, like, you're never going to get, I don't know, you're not going to, there's a lot of people who, who's this year sucks. That's why they're always going to find somebody that's kind of right in the middle,
Or that's super popular at that particular time
yeah,
frame. Yeah.
people are going to want to see.
So this, it's a good point that you bring up. It's all about retaining those eyeballs, and to the point that you were bringing up about the commercial. That's the thing that drives me the craziest. If you go to a Super Bowl party, and yeah, you're right, everybody's talking and they're getting up and mingling around while the game's on, and then stop in your tracks when a commercial's on. You're stopping in your tracks for a commercial. That's counterproductive. And you don't even know what they're selling you. It's just like, oh, it's got this sappy message, or it's got this celebrity, or it's a trailer to a movie that nobody's going to see in the theaters.
Oh, cool. It's got Ben Affleck and Matt Damon with Tom Brady, and they're talking about Dunkin' Donuts. Oh,
Ugh, no, thanks. No. I always say that, the companies that spend all that money to advertise during the game of the Super Bowl are not necessarily the ones that are driving the advertising business to begin with. It's always going to be these niche companies, or these like specialty places that don't really understand how the whole ecosystem. So you see that Super Bowl commercial, and then I never see it ever again. Or it's something that like catches on, and you see it to death, and there's a million different versions and variants of it that you see, all winter long and then into the spring.
The only thing I will give it somewhat is that, like, it seems like a lot of the companies, especially ones that are sponsors of the NFL, like, the good thing about them actually doing commercials for the Super Bowl is that you don't have to see the same ones they've been running, like the same State Farm with Mahomes, and like that they've been running since week one, that you're really tired of hearing. Like, there are certain ones where it's just like that, they run it week 1 through week 8, and then they do another State Farm, and that one runs like for the rest of it. And like by the time like the playoffs come, it's like, God, if I have to see that one with Andy Reid and then saying fumble Rooski, I'm gonna throw something.
Yeah.
So at least that's like, I hate being at a party and everyone's like, "Ooh, shut up, the commercial." But at least you're not watching the same ones that you're kind of tired of. That get tired. But
the saving grace being a new Geico commercial will be debuting, which is always great. Great for Geico. A different variant on that Burger King BK Have It Your Way song, played to death, by the way.
So one that I do kind of vividly remember, like one of the earlier, I feel weird saying 1997 as being like an earlier one, but do you remember the Blues Brothers halftime show?
Of course. I have notes on this.
The Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, and James Belushi Blues Brothers.
Yeah. Well, that was before Blues Brothers 2000 came out.
What a shit show that! Like, I actually felt bad for James Brown. Like what? Like, and he did.
He was part of that, right?
James would do just about, if the paycheck cleared. I mean, he would do a lot of stuff. But oh my God, what an awful halftime show that was!
Yeah, but he was in the original movie, right? He was in the original Blues Brothers.
Yeah, but it was if it was the original Blues Brothers, that would have been kind of cool. He probably popped up in that the sequel too. But
Blues Brothers 2000. I don't recognize it as a true Blues Brothers movie. It's stupid. Anyway, yes, James Brown, ZZ Top was also in that performance,
which kind of doesn't make sense.
Well,
I mean, I understand they were like a blues band and
yeah, blues
stuff like
rock
in the
band, I guess.
beginning,
Yeah, you could. I would
but
listen. They make more sense than Jim Belushi and John Goodman.
like I'm a really big John Goodman fan, but that's just like that was the one time I was like John, what are you doing?
Just sit one out, John. Just
Uh, How
yeah,
did you go? You went from Barton Fink to that. Like, what are you doing? You work with the Cohen brothers, man. Like,
yeah, yeah. Well,
uh,
sunglasses are cool to have on. Plus, they hide your bloodshot eyes.
yeah, yeah.
And he was such a big fan of the original, I guess, and Belushi, John Belushi himself. So I don't know. To me, it's just sort of like they were still like throwing, even though like the Michael Jackson one had started like the trend of like we're gonna have like regular celebrities, they were still throwing like mishmash
Yeah.
chunks of people. Like the 90, I have notes on 99, which I do remember 99 extremely well. That was the year that Stevie Wonder drove a car. And it was like, and my response was, oh no, Stevie Wonder, why did they put Stevie Wonder behind the wheel of a car?
Telling you, man. Like, if you watch that documentary about the making of We Are the World,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
there's a part in it where they say like that Stevie Wonder showed Ray Charles where the bathroom was.
Yeah.
I think that dude's been fooling us for a really long time.
he's
That fucker can see.
he's got us hoodwinked. But so that 99 performance, are you ready for this? So Stevie Wonder's like the main guy. He's the
Yeah.
centerpiece. Estefan, this is like her third appearance.
Yeah,
She kept coming back. But the kickoff to that footnote in alternative rock history, I guess you could call it, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy played a song at the beginning of that one because this was swing.
Remember that 18 months that swing music was really
Right, yeah,
like everybody loved Brian Setzer again. And,
yeah. Cherry
that's
poppin'
the one thing.
daddies. Yeah.
That's like the one thing that's cringy when you watch Swingers, the movie, is like, oh man, like what it like. Oh, it's just bad. It's just like you fell right in that trap. You like anytime I see Vince Vaughn, if he ever gave me shit, I'd be like, dude, you used to in that movie. You had a wallet with a chain. At that like, don't give me shit.
You had wingtips on.
Yeah.
No, that was fashion trends. And that was like the dying days of it too. Like the swing movement. Yeah, it's a good point saying there was an 18-month period where that was popular. Did we? Okay, so then there was like Aerosmith and In Sync together.
Yeah.
So then it really became like, well, MTV's got really pop, and as you know as well as I did, working in and around the music industry at that time, you couldn't, like, I don't care if it was commercials, MTV, primetime TV shows, movies, everything was about like teens and people in their early 20s, and all of the attention went to that. So it made sense where it's like, all right, I guess like NSYNC was around for like 2 years and they're playing the halftime show because it was such a mania around like those MTV bands and the boy bands and pop music in general. And then here's Aerosmith just sort of like tagging along. Just
like
Britney Spears is in the
Aerosmith
mix.
could have done. I mean, really, if you think about it, Aerosmith could have done the halftime show just by themselves.
They should have held off and did it 5 years later after, something that I'm sure we're going to talk a lot about, when they started to get like regular bands in there. Aerosmith could have held out and had like the whole thing to themselves.
I just vividly kind of remember a part where like Tyler was like dancing with Britney Spears and she was still like a teenage. It was just kind of creepy. Like, and then you're wondering like, all right, NSYNC and Britney Spears, I understand them being there, but like, why was it Mary J. Blige and Nelly there? Like that, none of that made sense going with Aerosmith.
See, my theory, and this has yet to be proven, but this is my theory. they probably said to Aerosmith like a year in advance. They were like, "Hey, you're going to be prominent in this. We're going to be doing this like," and it was probably pitched to them as like, "We're going to do a rock, a rock and rap, like, it's the such and such anniversary of Walk This Way with Run DMC. Maybe we can figure out if they can be here. I don't know." And then
That would have been better.
And then as they got closer to it, they were probably like, "There's no way that somebody's going to sit through Aerosmith, and even nobody's going to sit through Run DMC. We have to bring in. It has to be geared towards young people." And they were just like, who can we get on the phone? Who's in like this, maybe not touring at the time or touring in the area. And let's just, we're going to, and it became like, all right, well, everything is like a medley of us. We're not going to sing whole songs. We're just going to cram as much as we can. And we're going to overstuff this thing and make it star-studded. And you'll never be able to forget it. Also, you'll never be able to remember a single song that they sang, but you'll just remember that Britney Spears was in a quasi-football costume, and the guys from NSYNC were doing like, defensive formations while they were doing their dancing, and it's like, this is a total mess. It's a disaster. Yeah. And then there's the skeleton himself, Mrs. Steven Tyler, in the middle of the whole thing, just like probably having the time of his life. Because he's just an old rickety pervert, but that's the sort of thing. Like I don't remember anything that they sang other than "Walk This Way," and everybody was like in the middle of that. You had Nelly there, and
you know, it's a sad thing. The only thing that I kind of remember, I think they walked into that awful song that they recorded for the Armageddon movie.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't want to miss a thing.
Their biggest hit ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like that was like when they walked into that was like what they came into.
Okay, well that makes sense because that was a big
and you
tremendous
just think
hit.
Of all the really good Aerosmith songs, like
yeah, Toys
and
in
they
the
didn't
Attic.
play. I don't think they really played any of them.
Yeah, Back in the Saddle, they could have. Yeah, Walk This Way was the only one.
Anything.
Yeah, I know.
Toys in the Attic. I would have been happy with that.
Yeah, come on. No, but that was sort of like the few years around that started the like you're just shoving everything in and making it as bloated as possible. 2002 was U2. Yes. Just U2. No special guests, no hangers on, just U2 doing U2 things. As a tribute to post 9/11.
Yep.
So and I think that's remembered as a pretty good one. You're a U2 guy, so.
I thought one of the few times, as being a U2 fan, there's some moments where you're like, wow, I really love this band, and there's moments where you're just like, what a clown show this is. It was one of them moments where, you know what? Yes, like they had an album, they had like a newish album at the time that they were touring,
mm-hmm.
and they like. It's a Beautiful Day.
Yep.
They did like most of that song into an oldie because I think it was probably close to, but they did a song called MLK, which is Martin Luther King's. So I'm thinking it was probably close to Martin Luther King,
of course,
or somewhere around it, or maybe to the fact that it was February
or a month later. Yeah.
And then into Streets where the streets have no name, and that's when the things dropped. And it started showing the names of like all people that were on the different flights that were in the World Trade Center and who was a fireman and stuff. And it was one of those moments where like you got to get, as much as there's a lot of things that I give U2 a lot of crap for, that's the one time they really nailed it. Their performance was
they
good.
got it together.
Yeah. So that's probably, I mean, it's definitely on the. If you're going halftime shows, it's I would put that on the side of
in the good column.
That's a good halftime show.
It's a good one. Then we get to
the following year was Shania Twain, and apparently they didn't think Shania Twain, even though she was like the biggest country / pop artist at the time,
mm-hmm.
they didn't think she was big enough, and they tried to bring people out. Like, I believe No Doubt and Sting came out.
Yeah, it was like a co-headliner, and Sting did one song. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like, I'm all for like, hey, we can try to bring different things in, but man, when it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. And I don't remember Shania Twain, No Doubt, and Sting really working at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's sludge. That brings us to 2004.
Oof.
So
All right, we got to do this.
Here's why this is in hindsight. I'm going to flip this on its ear. I think the least offensive part of that was her nipple.
Are you talking about the third person that's on the bill?
There's a bunch of people on this bill that are Puffy. Puffy's prominent. Yeah. Puffy's prominent in this. His only appearance at halftime.
And I don't think he's going to get an invite anytime soon.
No, I think he's one and done. And Kid Rock.
Oof.
Doing songs. And he stinks. He just stinks. Nelly, also the leader of the Saint Lunatics. So there's no way that this...
What I'm trying to think was, why was Nelly back like 3 years? I mean, did he have another song other than
Hot in Here? Yeah, Hot in Here was the... So when he did the one where he was dancing around with Aerosmith, Hot in Here wasn't even out by then.
Oh, really?
That was Andale Ia, the Country Grammar and all that. So that was Hot Nelly, and they were like, all right, we're gonna get MTV people. He's on MTV. Come on, Nelly. But Hot in Here was... So I blame this whole thing on Puffy. The nipple wouldn't have come out if Puffy wasn't involved, because Puffy's he's a world-class pervert. You talk about Steven Tyler being a world-class pervert. Sean Combs, world-class pervert. So I think I'm going to start this podcast is going to start the right way. I'm nominating him as the person that set this on the wrong, because Timberlake was probably like, I don't want to touch her top. I don't want to take anything off. And Puffy was like, you got to. It's a freak off. And it's against their will. My favorite kind.
I rubbed 18 bottles of KY jelly all over this, so it's going to malfunction. Yeah. Don't worry, I still have another 100 tubes in my car.
Yeah, we got another pallet of this. And, of course, you have Rob Ritchie floating around there, too, with his Bomb to Bomb, which, by the way, the songs that he did were from his fucking record in 1998 or 99. He was like
Cowboy?
He was 5 years after Cowboy and Baba da Baba. He was still singing that shit.
Yeah.
He baffles me.
There was one time and one time only that I thought, like, you know what? Kid Rock may not be that bad. I forget if he was the musical guest. Mm-hmm. He did Saturday Night Live. And he brought Trey Anastasio out, and they did Cowboy, but it was actually really good. And I was just like, that one moment, I was like, have I been misjudging Kid Rock? Like, maybe he is really good, and he just hasn't found that, like, he has to try to do different things to sell and blah, blah, blah. And
he's
a
shill.
No, he sucks.
He sucks. Yeah, he's terrible.
It's like somebody gave a guy from Keensburg a record contract.
Yeah, it's just and it's just like, all right, well, what's your niche? And he's like, I don't know, I'll just plagiarize a bunch of music, and I'm just gonna. It's not sampling. I'm reimagining these songs, and it's like, all right, well, keep sticking to it. Keep releasing that. And this album, I'm leaning with the country people. Oh, but I really have hip hop roots because I grew up poor. You didn't grow up poor. Oh boy, I can talk about Kid Rock all day. He stinks. By the way, him and Puffy together.
Here's the thing: you're going with Puffy as to blame all this.
Yes.
New theory. The conspiracy theory in me is that, like, this was all like staged and planned, because
I think so. Yeah.
I believe me and you were watching this at our friend's house, at the Snake's house. Did anybody there go, holy shit, her tit was just on TV? Like,
no.
Nobody saw it.
No.
But yet, but yet by like the time I got home, it was all over the news. Like it was planted and it
Hmm.
was ready that like they had. I don't know what the benefit of it was, but it just seemed like something that was.
Staged and
I don't
provocative.
know if they thought like, oh, this is going to cause controversy and we're all going to become like the biggest names. Like I don't know what they're like.
You know what it was? It's just it at the time, and again, remembering the early 2000s, anything, and it wasn't like it's shocking and and obsceneness. Like they weren't going for that. They were just going for what's going to create the buzz, and they thought like, all right, if we do this, you'll have a bunch of people that'll react to it, and you'll be able to generate like, oh, there's interest in it. Like, oh, look how much the people are talking about it online or whatever it is. The problem that they ran into is that it started like this button up phase
Well, it was.
of radio. It started this button up phase of performing, like, and I think the
Well,
Super
you
Bowl
were.
halftime show kind of like they collapsed onto themselves. CBS got all these complaints from people who were just like, "Well, this isn't right. Like, you shouldn't be doing that." And like, my kids were watching the game, and of course, your kids didn't see the titty, but
I didn't see it.
it was
Believe me.
yeah.
Believe me. If there's one thing in this world I would really like to, especially going back to 2004, I would have loved to have seen Janet Jackson's
Yeah,
on.
no, it's world class. But the the problem that I'm running into is, in again, and it's more in hindsight. And like, I think you're right. I think there was sort of a they liked to create the controversy about it, but it backfired in a tremendous way because they thought like, all right, we're just going to get buzz about this, and it turned into the really like uptight
Oh,
Christian people were like, this is an affront, and the NFL's responsible for this, and CBS is
yeah.
responsible for this, and Justin Timberlake should be vilified, and Janet Jackson's a whore, and like she got murdered by this.
Well, if you remember, I mean, not the going into a political, but like it was George Bush era. There
Yeah,
was the Attorney General Richard Ashcroft
Dickie
was
Ashcroft.
very much into like. Remember, he wanted to put robes over the statues and
Hmm.
the Lady Justice or what.
Yeah, yeah,
It was offensive that her bare breasts were showing,
right,
and
right.
he was trying to get like certain songs banned from like that weren't classic rock staples like that he didn't want being played on the
Hmm.
air anymore because they had certain innuendos or language or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So I mean, but it is interesting to think like, okay, there's this huge controversy, right?
Hmm. Yep.
And why was Janet Jackson the only one? Like Timberlake did never really got any shit. He's been invited back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, she's a woman.
Like Janet Jackson's never been back, and there's never like a. So it's just weird. Out of everybody that was on there, whatever, and all of that would happen, it's just like Janet Jackson took the brunt of it.
She's a woman.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I
She's
guess that. Yeah.
and she allowed them to talk her into doing it. So she's the whore. It's not
Yeah.
right. It's again, we're gonna point blame. I blame Puffy because I think Puffy was the one who choreographed the whole thing. Anyway, so then we get about a 5 year stretch of really good bands that came back to perform because again the networks, the sponsors, everybody went into sort of like, all right, what's the opposite of the worst thing in the world that happened? Paul McCartney.
Right.
He's going to make everything great. Like Paul McCartney, Springsteen did it after that. The Stones.
Which things must be really bad if the Stones are a signal of like good like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
bad boys of rock and roll are suddenly now a safe bet to
Let's
put
say right,
online.
exactly. You did have Prince,
Yep.
which I am. I don't think I'm going out on a limb when I say this. That's the best halftime performance of all time. It's incredible.
A very good one.
The Who and
Yeah.
Tom Petty.
We're all say I mean, I mean, if you think about it, McCartney, you could say Springsteen and Petty, the Who, they're safe.
Yeah.
They're not going to do like they're not going to do. They're not. The last thing that they want to do is something to tarnish their public reputation. Prince is a little bit of wild card. You never knew. He could have done something, but those other guys, McCartney's not going to.
No. No.
Other than Boris hey, you get 12 minutes. I'm going to waste 7 of it playing Hey Jude,
Hey, Jude.
because I need 5 minutes of the whole stadium singing.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Oh my God.
Naturally. Yeah. So I clumped Prince in with that group. I put that under the category of it was 5 years of white guy rock. White guy rock plus like they were like mini concerts.
They were safe bets. There were people that their concerts sold out everywhere they went.
Yep.
And I don't remember anybody like really going, oh, those, like, everybody was fired up to see Tom Petty. Everybody was fired up for the Stones. Like,
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. It made them happy. It made the advertisers happy. Then possibly the worst halftime performance was 2001. That's the Black Eyed Peas. I will never understand the appeal of the Black Eyed Peas.
but your boy Slash showed up for it.
I know. That doesn't make it better. If he got invited and he just, the fact that he's sharing a stage with Apple Diap, that's Slash can't hit him out of the ballpark every time. But that's the worst because they're the worst.
You mean the Fergie Slash Sweet Child of Mine wasn't like
Terrible.
That wasn't GNR.
Her caterwauling? No, thank you. No, thank you. Stacey Ferguson, Kick the Rocks. 2012, I just have here, the only note that I have is if there was too many people. So
I just have it listed as Madonna.
But it was
there other people?
Yeah, it was Madonna, it was MIA, it was
LMFAO. Yeah.
It was supposed to be Madonna's like thing, and they were like, well, let's just have a bunch of people collaborate with Madonna, and it's like the whole thing was a mess. It was disaster area. It's
another that year where it was a Giants Patriots Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So my only recollection was Madonna at the press conference doing the Victor Cruz salsa, and I was just like, I just want all this to go away, and I don't ever, because it's
this is not for me.
It's a Mets Red Sox World Series. It's I don't know who to root. Like, I hate the Patriots, but I don't want to hear Giants. Like, it's one of those Super Bowls that, like, I don't want it. It's like, in my mind, they never happened.
Yeah.
Neither one of those Super Bowls ever happened.
That should have been the year that they had the Foo Fighters. You would have been psyched to see the Foo Fighters do it that year because you would have been able to walk away and say, all right, that's a band I really like. Instead, it was Madonna Mayhem with...
you know what? I could go home and listen to the Foo Fighters.
It's a good point. Beyonce with Destiny's Child the year after, which I remember being very good. She did sing a lot of songs, and it was snippets, so it's not like you're getting like a full Beyonce show, but you were getting a lot of like snippets. Bruno Mars was the year after that. He was great. Don't know why he had to have the Chili Peppers on. I think it's probably one of those situations where they're like, hey, if Bruno Mars or if something backs out of here, or if we don't think he has enough star power, at least we can say then Chili Peppers are here.
And then they come out and do Give It Away.
Stinks.
Like,
they stink.
And you don't.
They're the worst too. I'll put them in the boat with Aerosmith. But no, Bruno Mars part of it was really great because he's up tempo. Yeah. Like, he's a showman. He loves gambling. That dude loves gambling. He loves losing money.
That's why he has a residency in Vegas that he can't get out of.
Pay them debts. 2015 was the infamous the Katy Perry one. And I say infamous because everybody remembers
Shark, man. That was my favorite.
That dancing shark. Do you remember that Lenny Kravitz was part of this performance?
No, all I remember is Left Shark.
Left Shark, right? Yeah. Okay.
That was I'm not this is you're kind of getting into like I Katy Perry's not my music.
Of course not.
Uh,
I wouldn't expect it to be.
I'm not saying that I didn't know the songs that she played at halftime, just
Mm-hmm.
not my. All I know is that's one where I didn't need to find out like through social media or like on the news.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, dude, that whoever's in that costume, I don't know what choreography that person's doing, but it's not what everybody else is doing. And
Right.
that was fascinating to me. It
Yeah.
was just like that person was just like, hey man, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Like
Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
I don't even know he got paid. They probably gave him like a basket with like
Clout.
Super Bowl whatever, like a T-shirt or sweatshirt, and maybe a couple of cans of Pepsi or something, or whoever the sponsor
Possible.
was.
Yeah. Yeah. Some chum because he was a shark. 2016 was Coldplay, a band that
Uh,
a band that bores me to tears.
I like Coldplay, but that Super Bowl was just they're not a Super Bowl halftime show
No.
band.
No. And
And
they
then like them adding Bruno Mars and Beyonce. Like I remember Beyonce coming out in some weird Michael Jackson
yeah.
army like
Yep. Yep.
get up like yeah.
It was
It's
again.
not
It's just shoehorned in. It doesn't make any sense. And Bruno Mars, of course, like he Uptown Funk was like a huge hit. So it's like, yeah,
yeah.
like we know this guy brings it, and it's sort of like I think the organizers were probably like, hey man, sorry for putting the Chili Peppers in your performance. We should have trusted you. You want to come and sing the best song in the world with Coldplay? And he's like, is Coldplay even have to plug in? I'm
Yeah.
bringing my own guitar player. So
Good news is that we're going to bring you in for the Super Bowl performance. The bad news is that you got to come on right after Coldplay does a really dreary song.
yeah, fix you. Nothing says halftime rally like fix you. I will fix you. Yeah, I will fix my defense. Gaga 2017 by herself, no other accompaniment, which is good. I remember that one being pretty good. Good energy.
Isn't it once you like jumped from the top of the
Yeah,
or was
she did a stunt.
yeah, she came from the top of the ropes, as I like to say, from all the way harnessed her way down to the stage from the top of the stadium.
Yeah,
Which,
but she also again
oh,
she did snippets, but she sang like 65 songs.
yeah,
The return of Justin Timberlake was 2018.
apparently it took them that long to forgive him for the titty thing, but
Yeah,
Janet Jack still has not been back invited.
he should have done a make good and brought her out, and that would have made everybody so happy. But no, Timberlake. Also, Timberlake. I remember this performance being like he had terrible sound, and it didn't.
No, that's just Justin Timberlake.
Speaking
It's
of
always sounds terrible.
speaking of terrible musicians, 2019 Maroon 5. Is there a bigger poser band on planet Earth than Maroon 5? I'll wait for an answer. Like, how desperado is this band? Who was around in the early 2000s? And kind of when they first started, they kind of had a unique sort of like rock and roll R&B sound. And what they became by 2019 was just, hey, can we get as many hip hop people on our track as possible? Because
Travis Scott and Big Boy, like, what do they do? That's not who I would pair up with Maroon 5.
yeah, and they did like they
And not for
played.
nothing, I as much as we want to crap on in 2019, Maroon 5 was big enough they could have done the halftime show by themselves.
Of course, yeah. But they are so desperate for the attention of younger or diverse fans that they're like, no, I have to have. And also that dude, keep your fucking shirt on. I don't want to see his shit tattoos ever again. Put your fucking shirt back on. He's probably in his 50s at this point.
He's a disciple of Ed Kowalczyk
Yeah.
and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah.
I think he'll list those two as their because apparently no matter what the temperature is, they all have to by the end of the performance their shirt is off.
Terrible. Not a fan. 2020 just before the pandemic took everybody's life away that year, we had the butt dancing heard around the world with J Lo and Shakira.
Not to get all P Diddy, but I'm not going to complain about that.
No, it was fun. It was great. Everybody's costumes looked awesome. Don't remember a single song that they sang, but my notes are butt dancing.
Yeah.
The Weekend was 2021, and he was by himself as well. I do not remember this at all.
It was there. He's an interesting dude. He has kind of like, there are moments where he has like, his voice is kind of a throwback to like late 70s soul and R&B into there's a couple of songs where you kind of get like a Michael Jackson, early Michael Jackson, and it was interesting. He has this thing where I guess it went with the album where like he started off like where his face and stuff was bandaged.
Yeah.
And as the performance went, the parts of it, and there was a concept to it, and there was a pretty big production. I'm not saying it was like it was interesting though. It was an interesting watch, and I'm not totally against The Weeknd. Like,
Okay.
I think he's a talented dude. Probably does a lot of drugs, but
Looks like he does tons of drugs. Yeah.
it was. I'll give him credit for at least trying. Like, I'm not just going to come out here and take my 7 or 8 most famous, and I'm going to do 2 minutes of each. I'm going to do a minute and a half of this one, a minute. Like, he at least put some thought into trying to do that. And
Okay.
it's not the best, and it's not the worst, but it was interesting.
Okay. All right. 2022, Dr. Dre and Friends. A whole bunch of 90s hip hop. I actually like this one because nobody overstayed their welcome. It was basically like, this is your life, Dr. Dre. And here's all the people that you've collaborated with and made super famous all in one place.
And it was the Super Bowl was in LA, so it kind of made sense that
that's his vibe.
Again,
That's his scene.
It was like, oh, it's pretty cool. They brought this, Dre, and then Snoop Dogg, Eminem comes out, and then Kendrick Lamar comes out, and I'm like, who's this dude?
Oh, well, that sets you up for this year. But yeah, I thought that was fun. I thought it was unique. I think they were another one that had like some staging stuff, like where they had like different, each one had like a different set of scenery that they were performing in, and that was eye popping and unique. 2023 Rihanna. She did a lot of music. I just remember that.
I do remember that she was preggo.
Yep.
So she didn't move around a lot, but the stuff in the background was interesting. There was like these little platforms that all the dance, and it was kind of floated around and moved and stuff. Again,
visually entertaining.
Visually entertaining, yes.
Good. And then last year was Usher? ? He had 4 million. He had 4 million people.
I'm gonna have to. I can't comment because last year was for some reason we decided we were going to do food at halftime. So I missed the halftime performance because I was outside on the grill making burgers and dogs and stuff.
What a sacrifice for your family.
I look, Usher is. He's a talented dude. It's not anything that really like moves the needle. I knew what it was going to be. Like, all I remember was as I was walking out, Little John came out, and my kids went nuts because they knew that they were at least going to do the song or whatever.
Yeah, good point.
So that's about my memory of the whole thing was my kids yelling, "It's Little John," and then him going, "Yeah," or whatever he does.
Yeah. Your kids are adults.
And I'm like, "Are you sure that's not Dave Chappelle dressed up as one?"
Yeah, right.
Maybe Little John was not available, but Chappelle was in the neighborhood. Like, Um, but
So
I think there's any chance that Jermaine Dupri can make a public
that's
appearance.
yeah. He's there. So that was year by year, for the most part, like when they picked up with important people. Favorites?
Uh,
Give me two of your favorites out of them all.
here my two my you two
Okay, right.
Prince.
Okay.
Um, I really like the Bruno Mars, but then they had to bring out the Chili Peppers. But so I'll actually say Bruno Mars was really good,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that's. I mean, there's parts of different ones, but like, so I'll have those three
Okay.
as the ones that like really kind of stick out. Like when I think of like I like Springsteen,
Mm-hmm.
but you're getting 12 minutes of Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah.
For a guy who's known to do 3 to 4 hour shows, to try to minimize that into 12 minutes
Yeah.
or 15 minutes,
Just
he
isn't.
did 10,000 freeze out, he did a couple, but then he had to do like the working on the dream, which
Mm-hmm.
was kind of dreary. You know, it was kind of like, all right, it's a snippet of like what you'll get in concert. It's
Yes.
15
I was gonna
it's
say
15 minutes
if you saw him on
of
that
a guy
tour,
that's known to do 3+ hours
yeah,
every night.
yeah.
So
If you saw him on that
um,
tour, you would have said like, "Hey, I could use 3 more hours of this."
you know what? I'll add the fourth one I'll add on there was Petty, because I mean he
Mm,
did again. He didn't like wasn't like he came out and did Zombie Zoo or like he did
boy.
radio hits,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
but I that would be one that I do remember enjoying, like
Mm,
beginning through end. Like
yeah.
if you're a Petty guy, he played the song like he sounded good. Which if you've seen Petty enough in concert, there are some nights where it doesn't sound the best,
Yeah,
but that was a night where you know what he brought the A game as they would like to say.
he had the pipes. He had the pipes. Yeah, Prince, Beyonce, I had noted. I really like that one. Bruno Mars, as I said. So, who? How do we want to do this?
I would say my favorite, if you're going to ask me what my favorite halftime performance was, like that I can like, I would say you too.
Elvis Presto. Who's left out there that should do it or that can do it?
Like if you're thinking like our generation, like I hate to say it, but classic rock, like
Yeah, give me.
obviously the Foo Fighters would be a band that
Mhm.
hasn't done it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Green Day maybe could do a halftime show.
Mm.
I think they're still popular enough that, and it would be one of those things where like I actually think that like my kids' age, like that 18 to 20, like they know Green Day.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I was also thinking, since every high school football and wrestling team uses their songs as some sort before they start dying off, like ACDC should really kind of do a halftime.
Well, I don't see. I don't know if you're getting. I think ACDC's done with
Dude,
touring and last legs.
you can't go to a high school event
I know.
like a
Yeah.
football game and not everybody uses Thunderstruck or Hell Bells, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're supposedly getting back to do a tour like sometime soon. So
I'd rather not.
I would rather not. They should have done it maybe 15 years ago, but I mean, there's always people out there that are that will always make a case for that Metallica should do a halftime show.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I don't.
Guns.
Yeah.
I mean,
As
Guns.
far as like new acts,
Pearl Jam could do one.
no, they're
You don't
not
think
popular
so?
enough. They're not popular enough. Like nobody after their first like 3 albums or so, like nobody like I don't know. I just don't see them doing
You
it.
don't think
Like,
they have the clout to do it? Is
no, like same
what
thing
I'm
with
picking up.
Weezer. I don't think Weezer is
No,
big
no,
enough.
no. I wouldn't put them in that
As
category.
far as like new people, I don't know if anyone. Obviously, Taylor Swift would probably be somebody who could just do it by
See,
themselves.
what's funny, like, and it's good that you bring her up because she likes to go to games and sit and watch. She apparently just she's got some reason that she doesn't want to do it. Like it's sort of like let other people get, I get to do a lot of really other
He
cool
doesn't really
things. And
need to.
she doesn't need to do it. She she's a little overexposed, and I think she was also like, hey, there's a lot of things in the NFL that I don't agree with. Meanwhile, she's like the biggest fan of the NFL.
Yeah.
So I think she would probably continue to avoid it, which is fine. You don't need
Would
her to stick herself in
would
there.
would Billie Eilish be big enough to kind of do a whole halftime, or would she have to bring a bunch of people out?
Well, this is. I think at this point you're at the stage where everybody that's going to do it, they're not necessarily up our alley, but they're also not up the alley of the average football fan that's probably in their late 30s to early 60s. So they're going to have to like bring other people out and bring a nostalgia act out to do a medley of songs. Like again, I think the Foo Fighters are again it's sad that Taylor Hawkins passed away,
Right.
because that would have been like that's like the for bands of that ilk, that's like the crowning achievement is you got to play the Super Bowl halftime. And again, like when you talk about like some of these acts that got a chance to do it in the 2000s, like the U2s and the Springsteens and the Stones and everybody, that's always what Foo Fighters are sort of like the generation behind that, where they are the standard bearer now.
It's funny. They were, I mean, in the beginning, it was like, oh, that's the guy from Nirvana's new band.
Yep. Yeah.
Now I think there's a generation where that, like, they don't, like, Foo Fighters have enough hits
They don't
and are
connect the
relevant
dots. Yeah.
that, you know, yeah. I mean, they could, honestly, they could just go out and do a halftime show and not have to bring anybody out.
Yeah. Exactly. Like it's not a it's not a necessity. And when you're talking about like rock bands, like you could certainly see a case to be made for like, all right, well, Metallica, AC/DC, like they could do like just three 80s rock bands or 90s rock bands and put them out there and have them each do like two or three songs and then do a big jam thing at the end. So you could end up with Guns and Metallica and like an AC/DC or
My, I would guess the biggest thing where I don't know if they're still involved, but isn't like Jay-Z's Rock Nation, aren't they still kind of like producing the halftime shows?
probably, yeah, yeah,
Because I know that was the center of like that's why like J Lo and Shakira, The Weeknd, the
yeah. It
Eminem,
was
like Dr.
yeah
Dre, like
produced by him.
he was
Uh-huh.
he was there. So I don't know if Rock Nation with Jay Z are they going to go towards like a classic rock halftime show, or are they going to keep it?
So this is the other thing, and I think this is because it dawned on me that I didn't mention like there's all of these like big touring acts that are country that have these crossover hits, like that fucking
Yeah,
Jelly Roll guy. That
yeah.
guy's he's gonna be the halftime one year, like probably soon. I wouldn't be surprised if they have these quasi country singers that like do it, like Zach Bryan or Luke Bryan or whoever these Bryan guys are,
Yeah.
that are like huge. I think there's probably going to be a sweep of those people, of those type performers, I should say, that get the door open for them because they sell out stadiums and they do like big touring business.
And they do have like if you had somebody like Zach Brown or Luke Bryant, they do, or somebody even like a Kenny Chesney, they have enough albums out where they've
Mm-hmm.
had guest people
Yeah,
on
yeah,
that they could bring. Hey, I dare to even who they worked with, but they do a lot of crossover stuff. I mean, Post Malone could probably do a halftime
Yeah,
show with
yeah.
all the crossover people that he
Oh
works
yeah.
with.
Oh, he should do it
So
next year. Like if there's anything holding him back, he should drop that immediately because he'd be able to get. He crosses into pop, country to hip hop, into anything he wants to cross over into. So, yeah, so he's a short list guy that would be in there.
basically, if you're a dude with tattoos on your face, or you're a female country singer, you're probably going to do the halftime show.
This is your time. Yeah, yeah. This is your decade. This is your 5-year run
This is
of
your moment.
this is your white
Take
guy
it,
classic rock.
yeah. Take it, Jelly Roll, because in another 5 years there'll be somebody else who's
Yeah,
got a sappy story
yeah.
that is better than yours.
Yeah, or they're just gonna have like, just a YouTube, influencers, where they're just gonna create like that kid who opens toy boxes, or like, maybe they'll have a podcast.
Hey, speaking of YouTube, like maybe there's a day where Bieber's big again, and he could do that
Maybe,
halftime show.
yeah, yeah. I think the air's.
Bieb,
I think the air's out of his balloon. I think he's the type of person who's like, Post Malone's like, give it up for Justin Bieber, and he's like, oh yeah, I was still a thing, right? But yeah, no, I Post Malone, I'm bumping Jelly Roll to 2 years from now, maybe 3 years from now if he's still relevant. Post Malone's gonna do the next Super Bowl.
By the way, if you put Teddy Swims and Jelly Roll in a room together, I might call one the other, and I don't know who the difference
If you put
is.
Teddy Swims and Jelly Roll in the same room, first of all, I don't know who's who. So that's a good point. And also, like, who else are you getting in that room?
A lot of face tattoos.
Giant fat guys, country music. So that's going to put a pin in this one. Now that we've really opened it up and started to get after
So
face.
I'm going U2 is my favorite. So
Okay, all right. Prince is my number one.
I'm not surprised.
Next episode, we're going to tackle Saturday Night Live. 50 years of Saturday Night Live. Now we're not going to tackle every year of Saturday Night Live.
No,
we weren't really watching it, and I like. It's hard to go back to like watch the old reruns. I've seen enough of those. Like, so I think it'll be more of our history with Saturday Night Live separately. We'll talk about performers. We'll talk about controversies. We'll talk about sketches. Because they're going to have, when is their big 50th anniversary shindig?
I believe it's February 16th.
February 16th.
The 50th.
So,
and the actual big, like, they have like a 2 or 3 hour show that night. But
3 hours, I hear.
I would highly recommend if anybody out there has Peacock. There is like a 4-part thing on Saturday Night Live. It's very interesting. If you're a fan of it, or I didn't think that an hour-long episode about the cowbell sketch. I was like, "Ooh, that's good." It actually was very entertaining.
It had a lot. It had a lot of meat on the bones. Yeah. No, very interesting.
And anytime you get a bunch of people talking about walking
and doing walking impersonations is always that's always an easy laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll dissect Saturday Night Live through the years. And just sort of give it the attention that it deserves upon their 50th anniversary. By the way, that episode's coming out on Valentine's Day, so I don't know if there's a way to wrap up a podcast as a gift, but or maybe you can send it to, like, if you have a like a secret admirer, like if you had somebody that you had a crush on, and like, here, listen to these guys talk about Saturday Night Live. They seem passionate, just like I'm passionate about you, potential lover. That just sounds terrible, by the way. This is awful. But yeah, no, yeah, this will be this episode that we're finishing up here.
This is like cringy as P. Diddy or Michael Jackson and 3,500 kids.
So anyway, So this will be out. Our episode currently, the Super Bowl episode will be out a few days before the Super Bowl. so you have enough time to get ready for it. Plus, try and figure out who Kendrick Lamar is, and then, like I said, next week we'll be tackling SNL. So we feel good for a first episode, Captain.
I feel pretty good. Wasn't very listy type, but
Okay.
we got to talk about a topic and give like what we liked about halftime shows and what we didn't like, and so I hope everybody there enjoys it. I hope we were entertaining.
Yeah, and if we weren't, you guys got to fix your ears. So so for the
We're
captain,
we're not going to be totally entertaining the first one. First one, we give you a little taste, and then you got to come back for the second and third one because they're going to be really good.
yeah, when we're firing all cylinders, batten down the hatches. Just get yourselves geared up for the yucks. But again, for my co-host, the captain, this is the Madden of the Madden and the Captain, or the Captain and the Madden. That's what we're calling Captain and the Madden show, right? Nope.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I had it contractually in my that it was Captain and Madden show.
Captain and Madden show. Yeah, all right. Well, this was episode 1. We hope you guys all have a great night. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and don't take it so serious.
And tonight, and that night, I'll find out who Kendrick Lamar is.
Hey!